Check Global exclusive. We got Ali, president of Derrty Ent. What's going on, man?
How y'all doing today?
Just had a couple questions for you. How did you get your first start in the music business?
My first start in the music business was, you mean like official music business or just wanting to rap type thing?
I'll say wanting to rap first.
Just wanting to rap was just when I was younger. I was born in '72, so by the time I was 8, hip hop was in full swing. So I had a couple years without it, but you don't really recognize it when you're that young. You know what I'm saying? So I remember when it first hit, and when the first album I got, the first 12-inch single, the Haunted House of Rock by Houdini. Y'all don't know about that. So
Right.
So that was just it. You know what I'm saying? Born and raised in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Just wanting to, be part of it. That's where it basically got started. Now, when I first got into it, like professionally, that's when I graduated from high school. I went to Cardinal Ritter, and I went to college on a basketball scholarship, and I went to Atlanta, and then I got a record deal with Professor Griff.
Right.
Now, my actual first record deal was as a producer, making music. So that's where I actually got my start and my understanding of just music, how it happened. I read a book called All About the Music Business by Donald Passman, and I learned a lot. I was in Atlanta, learning a lot, seeing a lot. I met Jermaine Dupri. He was really young. You know what I'm saying? He had Crisscross, but they wasn't even off the ground yet. And just learned a lot. I had a lot of friends from the East Coast. My roommate was from the East Coast, and they were just so much more advanced in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? Not in just like intelligence and all like that, but just more outgoing than I was. You know what I'm saying? It's being from a smaller town in comparison to like New York or something. So I would say that was where I got the idea of the St. Lunatics was born. It was in Atlanta, left there, came back to St. Louis with that determined idea to start a group. So when I actually started a group, it was like, just go get me some rappers.
Right.
It wasn't even about like, I don't need a certain kind of rapper. I don't need to hear you rap first.
Right.
Just go get me some rappers, and that's all I needed. And then like I said before, we had a meeting. I came back home from college, left that. My deal was up. Came back home, and I had a meeting. These guys came over. We met at a friend of mine, a great friend of mine named Keith, and when we did that, we had a meeting, and in that meeting, it turned into beepers and shit started going off. People, they was young, you know what I'm saying? I was 22 or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And some of them was 17, 18, 16, 17, selling a little weed or whatever, trying to hustle. So beepers started going off. They was having a meeting, and then beepers started going off, and then, the 5 who stayed. There was a guy named Lavelle City, a guy named Tory Murphy Lee, a guy named Robert, Keywan, a kid named Cornell, another member that actually left the group later, name was Goldie.
Wow.
And those are the ones that stayed. And I was, just that's where I started.
Out of all those people that you named, how many people did you have to go through to like bring that unit together?
It weaved itself out that day. It wasn't no go through process. It was just like, boom. It was like, who stayed? It was like, everybody else stayed. You know what I'm saying? And we started talking, and then I talked for 2 years. We didn't, like, if you play basketball or something, or you play football, the first 2 or 3 weeks is just tour-a-days, just camps. You never touch a basketball. You just, you never touch a football. Pardon me. And that's how it was. We had to just talk for 2 years, just talked about style and, imaging and rhyming and explaining rhyming and, buying CDs and opening up and explaining New York to them, explaining LA to them. Because I was in Atlanta, so I was in the melting pot. I had friends from LA and Oakland, and I knew about a kid named E40. I knew about the whole Sick With It movement, and we knew Too Short, but there was a lot more going on in Oakland. There was a lot going on in LA that we didn't even know about. It was parts of Richmond, the magazine, Sacramento. It was just places that I knew about because I had friends from these places.
Yeah.
So, and the same thing with the East Coast. I started explaining them how it worked and things of that nature, and how they did this and what this mean and what this, and you know, just all type of little slangs and all these type of things. So that is where that kind of melted. So I was talked about that just for 2 years, and that's what the success of the Lunatics came from. The fact that I had 4 brothers at the time, because the other one that kind of like faded off. Because I started talking about no more gangs.
Interesting.
No more guns. No more, no more rapping about guns. No more rapping about this. So people started kind of, the other member, Goldie, he was a good brother, but he just was, this ain't for me. He was, I was going too the left for him.
Right.
So he stepped away. But the other 4, that's what the success of the Lunatic came from, because they were just like listening. You know what I'm saying? It was listening. I was 21. Murphy Lee was like 14. You know what I'm saying? He was just listening. Like, if I see, no disrespect to my baby brothers, you know what I'm saying? But if I said that's why it worked. If I said, yo, let's jump, they were just like, yo, ha. That's why it worked. You know what I'm saying? And I was young. I didn't know, but I had an idea. So it was just.
So at one point, did you and Nelly decide to, come together? And when did you meet him? Or where did you meet him?
I met him. I'm from. I was born in. I'm from like Carl Square Village Projects. Then I moved to there. We moved to the north side of St. Louis, 8800 block of North Crest. I stayed on Goodfellow. We moved to out on 367, and where like what do they call it? That apartment complex called the real popular one, Countryside.
Oh wow!
But we lived in apartments next to it. They call it Colonial Village now, but back in the day it was called Lake in the Woods. So when we moved like from Cross Square Village, then we moved like my family moved there. Then I was born, and we moved to the Goodfellow, and then we moved to out Highway 367 from Cross Square Village to it was like like different strokes, like the Drummonds, you know what I'm saying, like the little kids, like all on them. We moved on up, so even though it was in the apartment, it was better than the project. So, and then we ended up moving back in the city. So when my family, I'm the youngest of 7, and my sisters, I'm the youngest. The one closest to my age is 10. My father's 80. You know what I'm saying? So they lived that, moved out. I was young, they still moved out, and someone moved into U City. And that's when I would go visit them. I was meeting these kids. I was just meeting, my homeboy T Love, Keith, Brent, you know what I'm saying, Hilla Mac. I was meeting them, and that's when T Love is relatives with Kiwan and Murphy Lee. And I was just meeting them. So when I met them, you know what I'm saying, when I was, before I went off to college, I met them. I just met, they was young boys, you know what I'm saying. Well, I ain't young, I mean, I was 18, 17. It was, like I'm 2 years older than Nelly, so I was 18, 17. He was 15, 16, you know what I'm saying. So I was there, but it was still like some gang separation type of thing a little bit too, because I was hanging with the Bloods and a lot of them was hanging with the Crips, and so it was just, but I knew of them, you know what I'm saying. So it was cool. But after that, we actually, when I got home, that's when we actually just kind of got together. Like, yo, Kiwan can rap. His homeboy be with Nelly, Cornell, Nelly Nail, he can rap. All right, bring him too. You know what I'm saying? Bring, who all came, Spud. But then there was one they didn't want to come though. It was the one, he was the youngest one. It was Kiwan's little brother. It was Murphy Lee. It was the little T at the time. Tori, his name was Tori, Little T at the time. And so I ended up taking him because he wanted to rap. He was like 13, 14. He wanted to rap. I was older, and they was calling him a feature. They was teasing him. He's going to be a feature. He's going to be a feature. They was just joning on him. You're going to be a feature, laughing. He would be, kind of go back with him. But they was older than him, and then I was like, nah. He going to be with me. He going to be with me. He going to be, and they would tease him. He was young. I'd be like, nah, I'm going to make you better. You're going to be better than all of them. I used to always tell him he was better than all of them. He'll be better than all of them. And he was just young. So his first couple of rhymes, like I wrote, just so he could get the understanding of how a rhyme looked and how you stayed in between the margin. You can go outside that margin and you lose the flow. And so that's when I met them. Around that time. Really good though. Really good. Really good.
That's what's up. So, at what point in your career did you know you all were pretty much going to be stars or be very successful in the music industry?
I say 93 or so when I got home from college, and then we talked for 2 years, and then around like 95, we just talked. And when they started to get it, Nelly got it first. He got it first. You know what I'm saying? When I started talking about, what I was actually talking about was actually like how you rhyme. You got the rhyme scheme. It's a science to making a song. Some people, you know, it's a science. Some people don't even know that they're doing that proper science to making a record. Like, it's got ups and downs, and, you know, by the time the second verse comes, you should be able to, you know, end the second verse off really big. You know what I'm saying? I'm, you know, like, I think my butt getting big. Oh, you know what I'm saying? That's the proper time to boom a record. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a science to making a song. I learned it. I came home and to teach them, to whoever would listen. So once they started to get it, then I seen it. Like, yo, because I you know, teaching them about, yo, we're gonna wear this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna, you know, with your pants bigger, we're gonna do this, let's do our hair like this. But once they started to saying, like, no, I'm gonna do it like this. Then I'm like, oh, so you got it now. You got it. Like I said, Nelly got it quick. He got it first, and then it was like me teaching and them listening. And then Nelly got it quick, and then he came up on this side. So it was like me and him, I'm teaching, he's like the teacher's assistant. Like, he's like, no, that's what he's saying. He's saying like this. Instead of, you know, we would rap, and I would cut out them blank spots. Like, yo, you can't, you know, I put it down on the block. They don't want to see me. I play around it. You know what I'm saying? It was that was a local sound. That wasn't going to touch the world. So what we do back when the day, originally flowing was originally a consistent flow. You know what I'm saying? You hear a lot about a brother claiming no ground and being low down, and really low down within a little around. You know what I'm saying? It was a consistent flow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was like, yo, let's just learn how to consistently flow. Now I started taking out topics, like no more gang talk, no more gun talk, no more this. And so they started being like, what do we talk about? We just went over, this was a study process, a 7-year plan. It wasn't even no intentions on trying to get a record deal until 2000. We had a 7-year plan. It was like some kids, we just playing like, we was kids playing Clubhouse. Smoking and playing Clubhouse. I brought that too. I brought some weed, I was, you know, smoking. I was, you know, and then that smoke was just boom. They would just be on the blunts which they had never heard of. I brought it from Atlanta. We boom them blunts, and they be wide open, like, yo, they can hear exactly what I'm saying. Like, then it would, you know, then we did a song called Ragged and Dirty, and I could just tell it. You know what I'm saying? And they would all, I'm coming ragged and dirty, raggedy, janky and shady, and these fools wanna play me, okay, me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and that was Spud. It was like, and then he would get to a point where it's no such thing as writer's block. You shouldn't get writer's block, because you could just go from the next word. I'm coming ragged and dirty, raggedy, janky and shady, I pass my fucking 380 in case these fools wanna play me. Now he's stuck. Where do I go? Now what rhymes to play me? If who want to play me, and he'd be like, okay me, and I go, there you go.
Right.
Now that just goes into the next line, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you could just, you know, it's that aha moment, and you can see it, you know what I'm saying? That's what the aha moment is to understand, that's to see. I can see it, like, oh, he got it. I'm coming ragged and dirty, ragged and janky and shady. I'm gonna fucking 380 in case these just want to play me. Okay, me got no love for buckle. And he like, holy shit, that's it. So once they started to get it, now it's all started clicking. They started coming into the door with bigger shirts on, big hats, big, you know, tilted to the side. The flavor started coming in, like the Lunatics is starting to form. The same Lunatics is starting to form, and we started being different and looking different than everybody. And that was the goal.
And on that point of looking different, let's for the people out there that might not know about Air Force Ones, let's talk about how that impacted the culture at that time.
At the time, Nelly we was trying to get a record deal. Nelly was up in New York. By that time, we was like, yo, we went as a group. We couldn't get through as many doors. So Nelly was in New York, and he went up to visit New York. Harlem was wearing them Air Force Ones. We didn't like create them or bring them to bring them out. They were already out in the 80s, but we didn't bring them back. It was Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Harlem always had that flavor. And then Nelly was in Harlem, and he was seeing them. So he got a pair, you know what I'm saying, and got on them. And we ended up getting on them later, but then we just made them popular to the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was but that's just all that type of music. You know, Lunatics is known, it just comes from, it's just old school hip hop. It's just my Adidas. You know what I'm saying? It was my Adidas. You had a song called My Fila, Bally's, with my Bally's on. You know what I'm saying? And that was just an old school song, just like, you know what I'm saying, about your shoes. Same thing we did about our grills. We was just good for just keeping it old school, just hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That nature. So that the Air Force Ones thing was just about just keeping it old school hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We didn't keep too many serious topics, and we didn't go too silly. It was just about old school hip hop. The original hip hop started off with the hip hop. Hippie to the hippie, the hip, dip, the hoppy, you don't stop the rock until the bang bang boogie, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie, the beat. Now what was the complex or the deepness in that? It was just a
rhythm.
It's just rhythm. It's a good time.
So what was it like on the road traveling, and you guys, meeting the top celebs and collaborating and, going to those studio sessions and limelight at that time?
It was just everything you just dream of. You know what I'm saying? We literally went from shit to sugar. We just literally did it. We worked all this time. All we did what we had to do for Country Grammar to sell. You know what I'm saying? And then it just boom. And it went. I remember just leaving St. Louis one weekend, and we was popular because people knew us from Give Me What You Got and that things. And we had got a record deal, and we had Country Grammar, the song Down Down Baby going. But I remember leaving, then going and performing on MTV. For the MTV Awards, and we performed, and Nelly had his pants sagging, and that's when the first people, that's when we came back home. We had left like a month. MTV, the song and the video had started taking off from the box, the TV show got a box, everything had started happening. But that was when that month we came back. We left and it was us, and we came back and we was famous.
What year was this?
This was in 2000. It was 2000. It was June, around that time. The album was about to come out. St. Louis seen us on the MTV Awards or whatever. It was around that time period. I don't know exactly. I was smoking a lot of weed at that time. So it was we left and came home, and we got home. We was not famous, super duper. It was known. And when we got back home, we were just famous. So it was all that you could dream of. You know what I'm saying? It just all that you sat in your room and thought about and all that. And it went just like that. It was just like, the usual what people want. You know what I'm saying? We got it, and we received that the fame, meeting people, and we went from. One of the bad things about that, let me tell you something. One of the bad things about that is that had we came out and sold 500,000 records, which all they wanted to do. I told them we was gonna sell a whole bunch of records because this is some shit you ain't never going. It was just gonna catch you off guard. Right. I didn't want to perform. I didn't want to do shit. I wanted to catch you, the element of surprise. Boom, we come out, pants big, clothes all bright, got on this color, that color. All these wristbands and all this shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Headbands, 2 of them. It's a lot to take in. You trying to take you. Then you got one guy, he ain't fucking rapping. He got a mask on. You know what I'm saying? Where this come from? Who did this? Right. That's original. You know what I'm saying? So. That right there, what happened was we came out, then once we had that success, that was a gift and a curse because it kind of led our city, why wouldn't it though? You know what I'm saying? That our city to feel like, yo, damn, they sold 10. Some people who fuck with us and looked up to us was like, damn, we can come out, we can sell something. People who didn't like us felt like, oh, they ain't even real. So I know I'm finna sell 15 million.
Wow.
So it made you feel like the bar was set so high. Nelly came out and hit him with 10, then
what album was that?
That was Country Grammar. That was the first album.
Yeah.
Hit him with 10 million. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This was skyrocketed. So it made the city feel like, I'm telling you, we didn't go from we never got a middle. You see what I'm saying? We never had a middle. We had no car, then we had Benzes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get like a Cutlass and then, you know what I'm saying? Right. we just had no car, and Nelly had a Bentley. You know what I'm saying? Murphy had the Benz. I had the Infinities. Keywan had the Jaguar. It was no middle. It was just like, damn, we didn't have no money. Now we got a whole bunch of money. So that was just and then meeting all our people, and then meeting people that, meeting fans, and meeting people that you've been fans of all your life, and they call your name.
Right.
What's up, Ali? Like, damn, that's Ghostface. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know me? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn.
Yeah.